among the elders of the land.
Okay, you can start right there, First Lady. Look at the illustration that the Bible is giving. Considered the virtuous woman. This is what you have when you have a virtuous woman. In other words, you got a woman. Her mindset is to take care of her family. That's a mindset. She loves her family. She's going to make sure that her husband is taken care of. She's going to make sure her kids is taken care of. She's going to make sure that that house is taken care of.
That's right.
Okay. And when you got a woman that does this on a persistent basis, you got a blessing.
And I would like to also address the women that's out there that's taking care of the household. They may not be working, and the husband is providing in the household. That's and right. You're at home, taking care of the home and the children and everything. A lot of times, people will try to make you feel bad because you're not working or you're at home, taking care of the children. Like what you're doing is not as important.
Preach.
But I want to let you know it is important, and it is important in the eyesight of God, because God has anointed you for that task to take care of your household and to take care of your children and your husband, and don't feel bad just because you may not be working and your husband is working. That's right. I'm not talking against the women that's working, because that's them. I'm just saying, if you're a woman out there that's not working, and don't feel bad, because that's what God has anointed you for that task.
That's right.
To take care of the home.
That's right. And see, a lot of women, you ought to be excited, because let me tell y'all something. That's the most hardest job that you could ever have. Is taking care of the home. You can say what you want to say. That's the hardest job. And not only that, in God's eyesight, that's an important job to God. All right, because listen to this, y'all. Because see, the woman from the beginning, this is the way God had set it up. See, you got to understand, the woman was built to receive. Y'all don't believe me, do you? A woman was created to receive. If we want to get sexual about it, you look at the woman anatomy. She was built to what? Receive. Y'all hear me? Receive. This is what the man's supposed to take care of the woman. God created man to cultivate the woman, to take care of the woman, to provide for the woman, to take care of her needs. This is what God created man to do. Man got his part, and the woman has her part. So if you're a lady out there, a woman out there, that's what you do, as they say in the word. What they call it, homemakers.
Homemakers.
Yeah, they call it homemakers. But anyway, God, like my wife said, God has anointed you for that position. And God honors that position when you do it like God wants you to do it. And this is what we got to get our mindset off people. You see, that's the problem. We always worry about what people say. If God has placed you there and God is pleased with you, and the second thing is, if your husband is pleased with you, ain't saying what you worry about other folk for.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
Huh?
That's
you have
true.
a great position in God's eyesight. So don't you take it for granted. Yeah. Don't you be nonchalant about it. You stay persistent and do what God called you to do, and stay where God placed you. Don't try to do something God ain't called you to do.
That's
don't be
right.
trying to do what other women, do.
And we do all to glorify God,
That's it.
And we always, I've heard this also, because like I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I take care of the household and the family and everything.
Yes, you do. Great job.
And a lot of, like I was saying before, a lot of people will try to make you feel bad, and then they'll tell you, well, it ain't nothing like making your own money, and okay, if you and your husband is one flesh, there's no such thing as your own money.
You
the money that you make is supposed to belong to both of you.
You preaching.
Because you're one.
That's
so
right.
even though I'm not working, the money that he has belongs to me also, because we're one flesh.
Right.
And so whatever he makes, I make also. It's not, no, this is mine and this is yours. This belongs to both of us.
Well,
even if you're working, if both of you working, or one is working and the other one is not, the money still belongs to the both of you, because you're one and you're one flesh.
See the other thinking, that's carnal thinking. When you hear that kind of talk, that's the flesh talking. But in the spiritual, we're one.
That's right.
So in other words, when I say you have to throw all that talking about I make my own money, you're not in unity. You still carnal. You're not unity. You're not operating like God wants you to operate. Even with separate bank accounts and all this right here, that's not unity. If you're married, that's not unity. The way God ordained it, because you're one. Like my wife said, you're one. So everything is y'all's together. Y'all hear me? So I'm glad she brought that up, because that's another big issue. A lot of marriages are falling because of that particular issue. Okay, and men's got to make sure that that if your wife needs something, you got to be willing and excited. Notice what I said in the first place: willing and excited to provide whatever she says. Look, I got to get this here. I need this right here. You got to be excited. And I get a blessing out of blessing my family. And a man should have that mindset. You was created to do that, to bless your family. You ought to get joy out of blessing your family. Not you see, like I said, marriage is a ministry. So whatever you do in your marriage, you're not supposed to do it grudgingly. Y'all hear me? And half-hearted. And that's the same way when you in a marriage with God. Whatever you do for God, he said, I don't want you to do it grudgingly, half-hearted. I want you to do it with joy. I want you to be willing to do it. And that's what we have to treat the marriage, y'all. And
also, don't worry about the looks on people's face when they ask you what you do. Because I get a lot of times I get a lot of that. It's a person may ask me, what you do, and I would tell them, this is what I do. I take care of my home. I take care of my children, my husband, and things like that. And they have a funny look on their face. That's they have a funny look on your face because you're now out, punching the clock.
Early in the morning talking about punching the clock. You see, a lot of women do that because they envy. You probably think they're picking, but they really envying you. A lot of women envy that. They wish they could stay at home and and not have to punch no clock in the hood and come home and take care of the house and take care of whatever she needs. You drop it all there it is, baby, it's yours.
Or they'll say, I can't. Or they'll say, I can't stay at home. I wouldn't know what to do.
No, because a lot of them can't stay at home. They ain't got no choice. They can't stay at home. That's why they make that statement. First lady, don't get me started. That's why they make that, because they can't stay at home. If they could, they would. Any woman would if they could, because they was built that way.
I said, what do I do? It's a lot of stuff I do.
So we just wanted to praying for the marriages, to keep God first in your marriage, and you have to run the marriage with the word. Okay, just because it's marriage, you can't do it your way. You got to do it God's way, because it was ordained by God.
That's
okay.
Right.
So if nothing else, that's it. And part 1 and 2, this should cover it, to give you a picture of how God wants the marriage to run. If you want a successful marriage, because God created marriage to give us a big picture, a spiritual picture, symbolic picture of how He wanted the relation between Him and the church. Okay,
that's right.
You got it. Him and the church. Okay, because the church is the bride. Okay, and He's the head. Okay, so he just with the marriage and the man and woman, this is what He was giving us to show us the symbolic of how He want us to relate to one another. Okay, as man and woman. Okay, so men, love on your wives.
Yes,
love on your wives and treat your wife right. Okay,
and wives, love on your husband.
That's right.
And treat him right and with respect.
That's right. You see the gate, Satan shaking the gate in your marriage. You see something try to start up, y'all got to put the word on it. You got to rebuke it. You see it, you know what's going on. Therefore, you got to rebuke it, y'all, and keep moving. And be persistent in it. All right. And remember, don't stop looking at your wife and, trying to pick, trying to find out something wrong. Always continue to focus on yourself. Each partner need to focus on yourself.
That's right.
Stop pointing fingers. Focus on yourself. Look, God, help me get myself together here.
Amen.
Because when I get myself together, then I can handle that. You with me? Everything in God, everything to glorify God. Your marriage is supposed to glorify God. It was created to glorify God.
That's right.
All right. Marriage was created to glorify God. That's why He created. And too many times in a marriage, each partner is trying to be glorified. We want to be glorified. We can't take nothing. She didn't fix the bread right. She burnt this up, or he didn't cut the grass right. Always something little small stuff to try to, to try to start up an argument, over nothing. All right. So remember, your marriage is to glorify God. each person should glorify God, okay? And you come together as one, and y'all glorify God as one, all right? We love you all. We thank you. We pray and hope that it's a blessing to you. If you know someone that's having trouble in marriage, send them to the site so they can listen to these episodes, so they can be blessed. You should want everybody's marriage to be blessed, not just yours.
That's
okay?
Right.
Well, we're here at True Life Ministry. We love you. We thank God for you. May God bless you, and may God keep you.